Yes, that's right. Time for another HACS video. Today we will be looking at just a couple of front-end components. 4 of them. We'll start in a couple of seconds. Let's start with the first one. I know that probably a lot of you are using that one, but for all of you that are not using, you should definitely install it, especially with the latest 2024.2 update of Home Assistant, that the whole icons things was repacked. Yeah, we will be looking at the custom brand icons. Let's go to HACS, Frontend, explore and download repositories, and type custom brand for custom brand icons. Click on download. At the time of the recording, version 2024.2.0 is the latest one, and let's hit download. This repository already has 383 stars. So don't forget, if you like that repository, if you like custom brand icons, say thanks to the dev by at least clicking the star on his repository. Click on reload, and this should be it. This is pretty simple component. What it allows you to use non-standard material design icons or non-standard icons. Instead of using MDI colon and then the name of the icon for the material design icons that are embedded in Home Assistant, we'll be using PHU colon and then the name of the icon itself. Let's check the full list, and I will not be going through the full list, but when you see it, you will know why I said you have to install that one, especially if you are into nice visuals on your dashboard. Click on GitHub. While we are here, let's start it, and let's look at the icons list. Icons are divided by the types or the manufacturers. For example, Amazon Smart Assistant, Apple, Aqara, battery status, doors, Home Assistant add-ons, IKEA, network, etc., etc., etc. Or, in other words, if we look at the devices by the type, these all are custom icons. And as you can see, they are pretty neat. For example, for the Christmas lights, you usually had to use the light icon. Now, next year for Christmas, you can do Christmas tree, Christmas door decoration, or Christmas lights. Do you have a different type of door? Why use a simple door? You can use the panel door with the lock, panel glass door with the lock, pet flap, etc., etc. There are really tons and tons of icons that you can now use also inside your Home Assistant. For example, if I want to replace the icon, I could click on Edit Dashboard, edit this one here, click on Edit, and type in PHU Intel NUC. And now I have icon for the Intel NUC. For all of you that are saying that green and yellow is better and that everybody in the world should buy Intel NUC. Click on Save, and the icon has been replaced. This is not something that will enhance the functionality, but it will or it can improve the visuals of your home. And don't worry if you spend too many hours. I've spent hours and hours of my time, which I don't have enough anyway, to try and replace all of the icons in my production setup. Let's jump into the second front-end component. I have a lot of tabs on all of my systems that display the weather data, and I'm always looking for something that can improve or better visualize the upcoming weather information or current weather information. If there was just a way to simplify everything and yet to provide more information. Actually, there is. Let's go to HACS, Frontend, explore and download repositories, and type in weather card, and we will be installing weather chart card, like this here. Click on download, download. At the time of the recording, the latest version is version 2.2.9. Click reload, and this should be it. Also, once again, don't forget, if you do like this component, if you install it and use it, go to the GitHub repository and give author a star to say thanks. The question is what you can do with it. I will just show you one or two examples. Read the documentation. Documentation is available here, but you can also go to the GitHub repository, click on a star, and then read all the options that you have. And there are a ton of options. But as I said, I will just show you one or two examples. Click on Add Card, type in Weather, For custom weather chart cards, you can add a title, My Chart Card, but I prefer it without it. You can select either daily forecast or hourly forecast. You have chart style 1 or chart style 2. I will leave it 1. And then you have also other settings that you can play with. For example, in the main section, show main, show fields like temperature, show current temperature, attributes, humidity, pressure, sun, blah blah blah, a lot of things. The size of the icons, current temperature, font size, custom icon path because you can install your own weather icons. For that, go to the GitHub repository because it will tell you how to upload your custom icons. But besides that, we can go to forecast, for example, rounding temperature, or use 12-hour time format, units, and alternate entities. You can specify alternative entities that will show you status of, for example, current outside temperature. If you're living in a big area or big city, you may prefer your own outdoor temperature instead of the one provided by the Met service. Click Save. And this is how the chart looks. But for all of you that are liking a more cleaner or less cluttered desktop, you may opt up for a simpler version. It just depends on the settings you select inside the UI for this weather chart card. Let's quickly look at the third front-end component, and this one will be Anchor Card. Let's go to HACS Frontend, Explore, and type here Anchor for Anchor Card. What Anchor Card allows you, it allows you to browse or jump from one card to the other card. This can be inside the same tab, but it also can be in a different tab. Let's download it. Click Download. The latest version is version 2.3.1. This is the latest version at time of the recording. Click on Reload, and this should be it. So what exactly is Anchor Card? Anchor Card is anchor for the cards. It allows you to anchor specific position on your UI, on the cards inside your UI, so that you can share that specific URL or create tap action on another tabs inside your Home Assistant, and it will automatically jump to that specific card on that specific placeholder. Let me show you how it works. Let's click on Edit, Add Cards. We will type in manual for manual card, and I will copy here the code that I copied from the GitHub repository. One thing I will do is I will customize it. I will not be mapping it to the lights, instead I will be mapping it to the map. Let's call this main map. Click Save, and it is currently positioned at the end, but I want to position it above this one here. So I will replace it with 7, and this anchor that you can see here as a thin line or as a component here, and this is exactly the location where the UI will open when we call this anchor. Now let's create a call. For example, let's go here, let's click on Add Card, let's select Picture Entity. For tap action, we will be using URL. You can also use Navigate, for example, and we need to type in the path of that first page that we showed a couple of seconds ago. Paste the path here. Let's add question mark anchor, and then we have to specify the name of the anchor that we've created previously. Main map, and that's it. If I would now double click or tap this entity here or the picture, and as you can see, it automatically opened the page, but it also scrolled down to the exact location of this anchor right here. It's very simple, but it can help you improve the navigation, especially, for example, you are sending specific URLs to the family members to open specific thing. For example, hey, I don't know how to turn on the TV. You send her something that has anchor for the TV, and it will automatically or automagically open that card on that specific UI component. And now let's look at the last front-end component I have for you today. This one is very similar to some other components that I've shown here, but the other ones had specific use cases where this was just one of the options. Instead, we'll be looking here at a nice front-end component that can simplify or declutter your UI, but it's just that. Note, it only works with the entities. Let's go to HACS Frontend, click on Explore and Download, and type here Fold Entity Row. This is a very simple component that does exactly what the name says. It allows you to fold entity rows. Click on Download, Download. The latest version at the time of the recording is version 2.2.0 and click on Reload. Don't forget that if you do like and use this component, you should go to GitHub repository and give it a star to say thanks to the author of the component. So how does it look? If you have entities card and it works for the card type entities only. So if you try to use it with something else and it's not working, it's because you are not using it with the type entities card. Type entities card. I will copy this one here and let's customize one long list of entities that I have in my front end. And we have these entities here. Let's click on Edit, Edit, Shortcode Editor. As you can see, type is entities. We have a lot of entities here. And this is how I customize it. I've copied part of the code from the GitHub repository and now it looks like this. We have one main influencer. This one is sensor.johnnyb, which is a very famous Twitcher. Then we have this section here. This one calls the component or card we just installed, custom fold entity row. In the head section, I didn't opt out to see any other entities. Instead, I've used type section, which gives this nice thin line here. Then we have label other influencers, which is the title of this section below. And then it is followed by the entities and the list of other entities I want to have as other influencers. If we click on Save, Done, you can see that this card looks now much cleaner because it's not cluttered with all those unknown influencers. If I want to see them, I can click on this arrow and they are listed here. But don't forget to check the documentation, and while you're already there, don't forget to star it, because there are more examples or more customizations that you can do. So check the documentation and see what other options you have, what you can play with, how you can play with headers, folding, etc, etc. So how was the video? Did you like it? If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. Also, check that you are subscribed because you don't want to miss the video next week. Next week we will be looking at this brand new, still unreleased Reolink camera, Reolink Duo 3, the latest one. And also next week I will be hopefully on my vacation, so I still have to work on this video and finish it before I go. If you yourself found any great components, it can be either integrations for the HACS or front-end components or templates or whatever, don't forget to leave me a comment down in a comment section below, or you can also send me the link and information both on my Twitter, Instagram, but also on my Discord server. As I said, if you did like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because it means not just a lot to me, but also helps with those crazy YouTube algorithms. And before I wrap up, I want to say thanks to all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, liked, subscribed, shared and commented on my videos. Thank you. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below, or you can also go to my merchandise page and get something there. Last but not least, you can always send me super thanks and I will be super thankful for that. I will be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.